Sí.
We have been doing this event for the last 12 years. Every time we have managed to bring an important personality from the Chicano culture and also from the Hispanic culture. And this year is no exception. However, I would like to say a few words about what this event means, not only to me, but to a whole lot of people that work every year to make the event possible. I cannot begin my speech without recognizing the tremendous amount of work that my wife Mireya and my daughter Mirita have done for the past 12 years. Their support means a lot, believe me guys. It sounds very easy to say it, but more than a decade we have been getting together to show our literature and to celebrate one of our own that has made it to a certain extent in the literary world. I also need to say thank you to a man that I have known for more than 20 years. Doctor Manuel de Jesús Hernández, el profe. A veces le hablo de tú, a veces le hablo de usted, but without his support, this event could not have been what it is today. There are many of you who have been here all these 12 years, and we have seen a lot of people go by and realize that the Mexican-American culture, the Chicano culture, the Mexican culture, the Hispanic culture is alive and well in this part of the Southwest. And in the midst of a very angry community who's just yelling, con los ilegales, con los emigrantes, we have managed to see ourselves going by not only working hard, but by creating literature, a voice that somehow certain people do not want us to use. But with the help of individuals like Miguel Méndez, Descansa en Paz, Luis Valdés, Landa Cisneros, Laura Esquivel, and today, Jimmy Santiago Baca. We can continue and we will continue until there is no more air inside our lungs. Tonight we get tribute to a truly amazing individual. Every time I stand here talking about our guests, I try to speak and tell you how these writers has influenced my life as a writer, as a plain observant of the human experience. And I need to share with you that tonight Jimmy Santiago Baca came in with a force that I could not have imagined. I'm not talking about only the voice that he has, the strength, the subject matters of his poetry and writing, but also I am talking about his personal experience in this planet. How he was abandoned by his parents, how he was turned into a street boy who only needed a dictionary, paper and pencil to start his amazing climb into the spotlight. When I first learned that he taught himself to read with the help of a dictionary, I became numb. In my limited imagination, I could not conceive even the possibility of this story being true. But in spite of my stubbornness, Jimmy Santiago Baca was able not only to become a free man, but a voice that was given to a number of individuals who did not have any voice at all. Jimmy, what has impressed me the most about your work is your honesty. You don't mess around with letters and beautiful metaphors to illustrate a point. You do present ideas in a very clear and sometimes rough way. Why, we must ask? Because life is just the way it is. We cannot change it. We could change our behavior in order to be at peace with the law of the land. But through your writings, one recognizes the difficult duties in life. But at the same time, your letters shine with hope. In your book, A Place to Stand, a character by the name of Chelo tells you the following. They want to make me forget who I am, the beauty of my people and my heritage. But to do it, they got to peel my skin off. And if they ever do that, they kill me doing it. And that's good, because once they make you forget the language and the history, they kill you anyway. I'm alive and free, no matter how many bars they put me behind. This is, I believe, your narrative, Jimmy. As a minority group, we Hispanic, Chicanos, Latinos, whatever name you want to give us, we have been under attack for the last 200 years. From the culture in power, with mainstream society, and you are proof that they have not managed to destroy our gente. Gracias a los dioses del maíz, we still have our language, que no? Tenemos el idioma todavía. In the case with Chelo, we are still alive, and you are still alive. and we are all expressing a voice that has to be expressed. Con el debido respeto, pero chingada madre, seguro que podemos. You came to show the entire Chicano community that even in jail, they cannot take away who we are. It is a privilege for me to introduce tonight a man, a writer, a Chicano, and I'm hoping in the future to call him my friend. Damas y caballeros, con ustedes, Jimmy Santiago Baca.
Does this work? Or this one works better, right? Okay. Well, listen, I wanted to say to everybody that read tonight, thank you very much. Really appreciated it. I also wanted to say that if you're writers, just don't ever give up. Just keep writing. And if you get rejection slips, put them up on your board, on your wall. You know, you get pissed off, you can spit at them, you can throw darts at them, you can hug them, you can do whatever you want to do. I don't think anybody, I think Joseph Campbell, I think they gave him $500 for his manuscript that's become, I mean, most of them have. Moby Dick, they threw that in the trash. There was a friend of his who grabbed it, took it out of the trash, and sent it to the publisher, and they didn't want it, so they published it themselves. William Faulkner used to come down the staircase at 9 o'clock and get drunk. He already had gone through a whole bottle of Jack Daniels at 9 o'clock in the morning. There's no regulations, there's no rules. You can be a tecato, a heroin addict, you can be gay, you can be straight, you can be whatever you want to be. You can have purple, whatever. Just write, if that's what's in your heart. I think I started, when did I start? Oh, that was crazy, no. Wow. Imagine that. Started with a shootout in Yuma with the DEA. I was a young little kid. Damn. I'm standing up here, what, 40 years later with 33 books in 31 languages, all still in print. They've got statues of me in South Africa, in Johannesburg, in Japan. They named the theater after me. In New York, they named the library after me. And it's so beautiful when you walk in the library, you see all these guys that just came out of prison, and they're studying poetry. And you look outside and look at the thing, it's Jimmy Santiago Baca Library. That's crazy, no? After 40 years, I've supported a family of 5 kids, 6 ex-wives. Yeah, no. Shit happens. And it just goes on and on. It's Blood In, Blood Out. And I'll tell y'all something about that movie, okay? I wrote it completely, every single word, and I gave credit to other people in the movie that never did anything. That's why, because they came and they said, could you please give me some credit? I've been in Hollywood 35 years. I said, no, don't worry about it. I'll put your name on there. And then the director, who produced La Bamba, Vader, he says, no one's ever done that. No one does that. And I said, pues qué. As long as there's enough tortilla and flour and salt, we'll all have a good meal. This doesn't matter what you did before you. That doesn't concern me. It never has. I've never become. I may have been a ward of the state as an orphan child at 5 years old when my parents left me. I may have been a ward of the state, but there are worse wards. There's a ward of bureaucracy, the ward of educational institutions, the ward of the financial world, the ward of a career. You know what I'm saying? There's wards. You become wards where you forfeit your free will. That's what a ward is. You have no free will. And I can point to almost every single career and occupation where the person is a ward of that industry. That means you lost your free will. That means that when you get on the freeway in the morning to drive, you don't want to be driving in the morning. It means when you get to work, you don't want to be working. No matter where you point to, ask yourself, is this what my free will mandated, or did I forfeit it? To pay the mortgage, to pay the car, I mean, on and on and on. Right? So I was a ward of the state. if that's good or bad, but I do know that in writing poetry, Helen Mirren, who played the Queen and won the Academy Award for that role, walked into a bookstore in London, picked up my book, called up her husband, and said, "Have you read this?" He called up Luis Valdez. "Do you know who this Chicano is?" Luis called me. "What? In London?" So the vato calls me up and says, "Would you be interested in writing a movie for me?" I said, "Charlie," and I hang up. Right? Remember, I never gave up my free will to be. It's 40-some years. I've been completely a different universe. Right? I mean, 45 years, never had a job. Put 4 kids through college, 2 more to go. Never had a job. I had to prove to myself that I could do this without accepting tenure, without working at the University of Colorado, without working at the university down in Tucson, without accepting. I had to do it. And who would ever think that starting poetry in a cell in the desert here in Florence, that one day a bunch of vatos locos I thought were playing a game on me would send some guy in a suit to my house, which I just bought because a book of mine just won the Frankfurt Book Festival in Germany, right? And he walks in with a suit and a briefcase, and he says, "I'm here to look at your archives." I said, "¿Qué chingón son archives qué?" That's not, we were all doing cocaine, we were all getting drunk, we were all puteando, you know. I wasn't with my wife, I was free, and I was on a downward spiral, so I was dejando caer la greña. I was partying like it was normal. If you gave me $50,000, I spent it in a week. There was none of this bull, financial statement. Hombre, vámonos, that's a ward of bureaucracy, that's a ward of financial, or that's a ward, no. Let's just blow this money, man. Right? So I thought my camaradas had sent this guy to cheer me up. Because I was in a depression. I just got divorced, thrown out of my house. I was homeless. But then it turned around within a month. I got $150,000. I bought a house, right? From New York for one of my books, right? So we were like, it was great. So this guy shows up, right? And I'm like, no, come on in. So I was going to reverse the joke on them, right? I said, you I was going to take him with me to the dump. Because I had all my papers, everything in the back of my pickup. And I was going to go to the landfill to empty it. But I was going to have this guy do the work. I'll show my camaradas what this is about, right? So I go out to the garage of my 67 Chevy and tell them, no, let's go. Where are we going? We're going to go to the landfill and dump this stuff. He turned 7 shades of white, which is kind of hard to do, but he did it, right? Right? Without burning my irises. But he says, you cannot throw this stuff away. I said, what do you mean you can't throw it away? And he said, you can't do it. That's what I'm here for. I said, what do you, look, dude, enough with the joke, chiste, ya se acabó. Enough. Right? Let's just cut the joke, right? Who sent you? Oh, but he sent me. I'm from Stanford. Stanford? Like Stanford and Son? Because that's the way we just, anyway, no, Stanford. Stanford University. Stanford University. Ah, okay. One of my friends was teaching it, right? Okay, yeah, good. He says, we're here to buy your papers. I said, well, you call papers, I call basura. You're here to buy my trash? And he said, yes. So I said, fine, go, it's yours. I had no idea the guy was going to pay me over 6 figures, right? I mean, huge amount of money, right? Over 6 figures, right? Not just 6. Over, that's 7th digit, right? So he called up all these people from Berkeley, and they all fly in. They all come to my house, and all these guys are in my 67 Chevy going through my trash. And I'm thinking, this shit is for real, man. These vatos are like out there, right? So I'm thinking, okay, I got 2 letters from Octavio Paz. I got 1 from Gabriel Garcia Marquez. If I run upstairs, I can write 6 more letters from Octavio Paz and sign his name to him, and I can come down. That's gonna raise the price another $100 grand. So I'm like upstairs, and the guy say, Mr. Baca, man, wait a second, I'm trying to find some more letters from Gabriel Garcia Marquez. And I run down the other building. You can't do that shit, Mr. Baca. I said, what shit? That's a letter that he sent me. I said, oh, he says, that's not, you just did that right now. I said, well, who's gonna tell, right? You? You tell, I'll stab you. Don't you know how they I said, puto, te voy a dar la madre. So the guy was like losing it. He was like, no, look, I gotta stay straight on this side, right? So he did, right? Now check this out. When I was 14, I got arrested for murder, right? Because in the Chicano code, in the Mexican code, in La Raza code, you never talk to the Judas, ever. So when I was in a fight, I got cut really bad on this arm, right? I got into a fight with my girlfriend. I told her, leave me there, pull the damn car over now. She pulled it over. I jumped out of the car and I'm holding it. She says, you gotta go to the hospital. And I said, I'm gonna go nowhere. So she takes off. The Juda comes and sees me with my arm. A gas station guy got killed from a robbery. They picked me up and charged me with murder at 14 years old. And the cops come and ask me, I tell them, chinga tu madre. That's how you answer all cops. Chinga tu madre, right? You know, what's your nationality? Chinga tu madre. Where do you live? Chinga tu madre. 14 years old, right? My arm's bleeding and I'm gonna die out of blood, right? So they take me to gladiator school, what we used to call gladiator school. They take me there, they put me in. Guess what? 14 years old, I'm kind of roaming around the dormitory, sort of like a little hero, because I'm the youngest kid there going to prison for murder, right? So I'm kind of walking around. I go to this bunk and I hear a guy reading. I hear him reading, and I'm like blown away by this. So I get closer and closer, and I kind of just stand there like this, you know? And then that guy stops, and I turn around, and he says, Acércate, Santiago, just come closer and listen. So I come in, I listen. Guess what he's reading? He's reading For Whom the Bell Tolls by Hemingway. Fast forward this reel. When that guy took all my stuff out of my garage, and all these important people from bookstores came in, they labeled it. They spent like a month down there labeling everything and going through it all and packing it and sending it off and they took it all to Stanford. When I went to go see it in the special collections, right? Guess who I'm sitting next to? The Hemingway archives. So it's Hemingway and Baca. Can you believe it? Life is so short that if you really, really, really live from your heart, what you call miracles become small coincidences in life, you know? It's so unbelievable. As long as you don't get yourself in that, what do they call that? Where you jump on at the airports, you get on that thing and hold on and it just takes you. Escalator. Escalator, right? Yeah. Don't get on that. Don't get on it, you know? Walk it. That's what you got to do in life. Don't ever get on one of those easy things. You know? Okay, mira, I'm going to read something very briefly. We're going to stop. After I read just something short from this new book, and then you guys can ask a few questions and we'll stop there, okay? This was a surprise. When I walked through that door, and it's about a woman coming up from El Salvador, and they take her baby. Okay? I'm just going to read you a few parts of it. That's it. Nothing longer. It's been a long night. But the surprising thing was, as always, like I tell all of you, I call you kids because I'm much older than you, but I want to say, you have to. You have to just keep writing. Like I said, I don't care about who you are, where you come from, what, you just keep writing. If you have it in your heart, just do it. Nobody out there really understands anything about writing, except one thing, and only one thing. We know when the person touches our heart. We know it. We know it. We know when the person touches our heart. We know it. We go home and we feel that person's voice in our heart. We know it. That's it. So no matter who says anything to you, there's these big machines called the literary industry. And they have to have authors every publishing season that they promote. That's how they make their money. That's how all these people pay for their flats in New York. That's how they pay for their vacations. That's how they pay for their gas. We pick authors. We promote them. All of these publishers. There must be like 30,000 in New York. You pick one out. You put them in the newspaper. You put them in the New York Times. You just go for it. That's how you do it. You create excitement. That just comes from a small circle of people. And all the people that they're picking work for universities or they're part of the literary community. You're not. So expect it to be hard for you. But that doesn't mean that they don't pick you, that your work is not better. Okay? It's just don't. This one here was the New York Times editor's pick. 41,000 copies sold in the first week. That doesn't mean I'm any better than anybody in here. It just means they put a whole lot of stuff behind it. Right? But I'm glad, not for me, but for Sophia, the woman who this is about. Now I'm going to read you a couple of things and then we'll call it a day. You can ask a couple of questions, but that's it. Okay? This is about, when I walk through that door, I don't have a stand here. That's okay. In San Salvador, Tonal, my marido, works night shift knitting clothing for export. Gangs tax the workers half their check, but Tonal refuses to pay. We have a 4-year-old, Joaquin, but they don't care. On Tonal's way home last night, 4:30, in bed, when I hear angry voices outside, "You pay or die," wheels screech, the door slams, Tonal's voice begs for mercy, then shouts, "Boom, boom!" And the car squeals off, leaving Tonal's jagged voice, "Sofia, ayúdame, ayúdame, Sofia." And I rush from the bedroom, draw my yarn blanket and slippers on, llama and sheep wool Tonal made for me on our 5th anniversary. And I dash into the night across the street and collapse next to Tonal, kneeling under the streetlight in the neighbor's stone dirt driveway. And I cradle Tonal's body on my lap, "Mi amor, mi amor." I weep as blood pools in the dirt. I tug him and tug him and tug him. "Mi amor, no te mueres. Mi amor, no te mueres." He groans. "Corre pa'l norte, mi reina. Comejito, vete, mi amor, corre. Nos van a matar." And I scream, "Stay awake. Tonal, stay awake." The blood surges from his thighs and ladles out from kneecaps that look like potato peelings on the cutting board. And the stones in the dirt witness. And the stones ask, and the stones take, and the stones tell. "Lay on us," they whisper. "We will absorb your sadness, Sofia." Tonal died. Me and my baby Joaquin go north. Al norte as he wanted, to escape the wrath of the gangs. And at every port and border we encounter vigilantes, uniformed officials, and unruly mobs shouting the same refrain, "Go back to your country." From American language radios at the Mercado and from windows, talk show celebrities label us outlaws, criminals, and drug dealers, answering our misery with four-walled thinking. And the experts claim not to know our oppression, how we're tortured and murdered and turned away at every door. And instead of the real people that we are, hungry and kind and hardworking and dreaming of an education, their ideas replace us with stereotypes that suit their selfish needs. We did nothing wrong. And the shooting has taken the center out of me. Leaves cartridges of shotgun shells where my heart used to be. In the center of me, smoldering how Tonal was on his way home from work, paper lunch sack clutched in hand with San Martin de Porras medal around his neck, a turquoise silver wedding band his deal Tomasa with Joel silversmith made for us, a heart tattoo with our names in it on his chest, Joaquin siempre mi amor on his left forearm. So I packed what I could carry and I flee al norte. Joaquin strapped to my back. 4 times I jumped trains as they are moving. 4 times gang raped by predators and police. And as each man mounts me, a voice in me speaks. Will you tell them? Hell is not a dream? And that you've been there, will you tell them? And I whisper, I will. In El Paso, Texas, I plead for asylum and they bus me to the Otero County Processing Center, Immigration Detention Center in Otero County, New Mexico. And ICE authorities take my baby Joaquin and I am placed in a cell and 2 ICE officials rape me that night. Their badges and pistols and leather belts shimmering under the fluorescent lights, their sweat spit sprinkling my forehead, their veins pulsing at their necks. The Cibola County Correctional Center, run by Core Civic in Otero County, is a machine that turns its cruel amusement wheels, manufacturing packaged lies that I am a villain. And then I am raped by an ICE officer again. And he grunts and he squeals like a pig. And the stones and the dirt witness. And the stones ask and the stones take and the stones tell. Lay on us. We will absorb your sadness, Sophia. And I close my eyes, vowing never to become a prison company whore for favors, cokes, chips, cigarettes. I close my eyes and I see Tonal hovering in the air behind the men. She's bleeding. I hear an ICE officer's voice say to his partner on top of me, who replies, "What's she gonna do, call 911? He laughs, "Let the bitch die. The more they do, the better off we are." And I see Tonal, and now I see Joaquin's eyes behind them. And their eyes grow bright with blinding sunshine over me. And their eyes are burning away the smell and the touch and the laughter. Their eyes are burning away the gunshots that killed Tonal, that still shudder my dreams with snarls. They're burning away the gangs and the clubs and the bombs and the body parts strewn in the streets, the paramilitary death squads that scare me. The eyes are burning away patriotism's blood hunger that devours and maims and silences Salvador's children. It's a democracy that stalks us and roams the dark land of our sorrow. Yes, the stones and the dirt witness, and the stones ask, and the stones take, and the stones tell. Lay on us. We will absorb your sadness, Sophia. And Tonal and Joaquin's eyes shine like the sun, as if to say, Mama. Healing is the word for challenge. It's another word to dream what is possible. Their eyes convey, looking into my brown eyes, all of us who journeyed undocumented from cosmic sunlit regions of the universe into earthlings with hands, mouth, lips, and hips, like all of us, once a child filled with questions. Mama, what is that? His first sensual exploration into the world sparked light in his heart, brimmed seeds of his origin-ness. What is that, Mama? And I said, un chile verde. It's a chili pepper. And over there, Mama, in la iglesia, that's a pigeon in the bell tower. And that, what's that, Mama? That's la Sagrada Tierra. That's sand between your fingers, mijito, from the sandbox. And that, feeling my lips on his cheek, I say, es un besito, mijito, a kiss. And then when he kisses me, I ask, what is that? And he says, amor, Mama, amor. It goes on and on. It's a long story, a long poem. I don't have any copies, I'm sorry. They're publishing them again, which is good. So listen, Any questions? I had some books outside. I wasn't able to get a lot of them. I have about 10 of them out there for sale if you want to buy them. And I'll sign them for you. I want to thank David for everything he's done and his wife. Both of them have been so amazing. David has literally picked me up, fed me, housed me at the hotel. He's done everything that you can possibly ask anybody to do and beyond. So the way this works, when he's in New Mexico, I'm going to pay his way there, and we're going to get bien pillado. Puro tequila, carnal. Remember the way you treated me, vato? Anyway.